Would you ever find yourself feeling completely overpowered by the noise that is all around you, the never-ending stream of opinions and expectations, and the unrelenting pressure of keeping up? Take into consideration the fact that ancient Stoic philosophers, who lived more than 2,000 years ago, were confronted with the same human feelings, struggles, and questions regarding identity and purpose that we are currently concerned with. Isn't it fascinating that the knowledge that was accumulated centuries ago still has a significant impact in the world that we live in today, one that moves at such a rapid pace? In this lesson, we are going to delve deeply into the Stoic way of life, uncovering timeless truths that can assist us in navigating the chaos of the 21st century with grace, resilience, and a profound sense of inner satisfaction. You have arrived at the right location, whether you are struggling with stress, looking for meaning in your life, or simply curious about a philosophical approach to life that has endured the test of time. Stoicism is not just a collection of ideas, rather, it is a practical guide to living a life that is more real, authentic, and peaceful. Together, we will investigate this idea. Please hit that subscribe button if you are eager to join us on this journey of self-discovery and timeless wisdom. Thank you for your interest. Additionally, keep in mind that each and every segment of this video was assembled with you in mind, so make sure you don't skip any of the segments. You are making progress toward becoming more stoic and resilient with each passing moment. First, you should not be concerned with other people's opinions. Do you find it interesting that at some point in our lives, each of us will find ourselves caught up in the web of the opinions of other people? When we try to conform to the expectations that others have for us, we frequently end up sacrificing our mental tranquility and physical peace. For the time being, however, let us take a break and investigate the ancient Stoic perspective. A central theme that Marcus Aurelius emphasized was the pointlessness of seeking approval from others. We are challenged to break free from the chains of external validation, and he encourages us to question this innate desire to please other people. Realizing that the only approval you truly require is your own is a thought that is thought to be liberating, isn't it? Now, give some thought to the fact that when you leave your head on your pillow at night, it is your own thoughts that you are left with, not the thoughts of other people. Therefore, why not give some thought to those thoughts concerning your authentic self, your values, and the actions you take? Imagine being able to be unapologetically yourself, unaffected by fleeting opinions or the most recent trends. This would be extremely liberating. However, what steps can we take to begin caring less about the opinions of other people? It all starts with recognizing and reaffirming your core beliefs and principles. What do you uphold as a principle? Where do you place the most importance? There is a profound sense of peace and authenticity that cannot be matched by any amount of external approval when your actions are in conjunction with your beliefs. Furthermore, embracing your individuality brings the right kind of people into your life, people who appreciate you for who you truly are, rather than for who they want you to be, but who you are in reality. It is not about quantity, but rather about quality. The pursuit of the fleeting approval of the masses is nowhere near as satisfying as the pursuit of a few meaningful relationships that are founded on mutual respect and understanding. When considering the opinions of others, it is essential to keep in mind that they are, in fact, opinions. Subjective and variable, they frequently reflect more of the person who is expressing them than they do of you. One of the most insightful observations made by Marcus Aurelius is that the only source of genuine and consistent validation comes from within, and that is by living a life that is in accordance with one's principles and values. Second, always tell the truth. It is simple to assume that the concept of not lying to other people is the one that comes to mind when we discuss being honest. However, Stoicism encourages us to investigate the concept of honesty on a much more profound level. In other words, it is about bringing our words and actions on the outside into alignment with our internal beliefs and values. This alignment helps to cultivate a profound sense of integrity and completeness with oneself. What would it be like to have the peace of mind that comes from knowing that your actions are not merely superficial performances, but rather genuine reflections of who you are on the inside? This point is driven home perfectly by Epictetus, who is considered to be one of the greatest Stoic philosophers. He makes the argument that being honest is not only justified from a moral standpoint, but also from a practical standpoint. Consider this: in order to be dishonest, we must always be aware of our lies, cover our tracks, and live in constant fear of being discovered. Mentally, it is a draining experience. On the other hand, honesty is nothing complicated and can be very liberating. Not only does it liberate us from the tangled web of deceit, but it also enables us to live our lives with ease and clarity. Nevertheless, here's the real kicker: honesty has an effect not only on our relationships with other people, but also on our relationships with ourselves. It is possible to pave the way for genuine growth and self-acceptance when we are honest with ourselves about our desires, our flaws, and our desires. When we do this, it is similar to clearing out the clutter that has accumulated in our minds, which makes room for more peace, more understanding, and more genuine connections with the people in our immediate environment. The acceptance of honesty, on the other hand, is not always simple. Being vulnerable and having courage are both required. It means that we must occasionally acknowledge that we were in the wrong, that we must confront our errors, and that we must deal with the consequences of our actions. However, the reward, which includes trust, respect, and a clean conscience, is incomparably more than worth it. Therefore, what are some ways that we can instill this virtue into our everyday lives? At first, there are baby steps involved. It is important to maintain openness in all of your interactions. Consider the events of the day and accept responsibility for any instances in which you may not have been completely truthful. Inquire within yourself as to why and how you can make improvements. Keep in mind that this is a journey, and that each step you take toward your goal of being honest is a step toward a life that is more peaceful and meaningful. Do you agree with these? If yes, please comment Y. If not, please comment N. Refrain from taking things personally, as the third commandment. It is something that all of us have experienced, that instantaneous reaction that occurs when the words or actions of another person seem to hit us right where it hurts. Because Seneca had such a profound understanding of human nature, he serves as a reminder to look deeper than what is immediately apparent. When someone behaves in a manner that we find hurtful or offensive, he suggests that it is frequently not really about us at all the time. A person's actions are influenced by their perceptions, the challenges they have faced, and their heritage. It is as if every single person in the world is moving through the world while wearing a one-of-a-kind pair of glasses that color the way they see everything nearby, including us. Consider an instance in which you may have lost your temper with someone or behaved in a manner that was not authentic to who you are. It is highly likely that you were dealing with something completely different, such as anxiety, fear, or insecurity. Alternatively, it could be that you were simply having a particularly difficult day. In light of the fact that we are able to recognize this in ourselves, why not extend the same understanding to other people we encounter? It is about empathy, but it is also about self-preservation, which is why Seneca advocates for this shift in perspective. We are able to detach ourselves from the unwarranted suffering that results from the belief that the actions of others are directed toward us when we stop taking things personally. It's like setting down a heavy burden we've been carrying around. Suddenly we can breathe, move, and live more freely. But how do we actually do this? How do we stop taking things personally? Especially when our emotions are already flared up. It starts with a pause. When you feel that rush of hurt or anger, just pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself of Seneca's words. This might not be about me at all. This simple act of pausing can prevent a reactive spiral and give you space to choose a more reasoned response. It's also about building resilience and understanding. The more we remind ourselves that we don't have the full picture of what someone else is going through, the less likely we are to be wounded by their actions or words. And when we do get hurt, because it will happen, we can treat it as a practice ground for our Stoic principles. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can it help me grow in embracing this Stoic approach? We not only protect our peace of mind, but also open ourselves up to more compassionate and meaningful interactions. We become less reactive, more understanding, and in a way more connected to the humanity in everyone we meet. Be patient as the fourth point. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about patience. He saw it not just as passive waiting, but as active engagement with the present moment, whatever it may hold. To him, being patient was akin to donning armor against the trials of life, transforming potential irritants into lessons of endurance and calm. I think about it when you're stuck in traffic. There's a kind of freedom in accepting you can't move faster than the cars in front of you. It's an opportunity to listen to your favorite music, an audiobook, or simply to your own thoughts. This shift doesn't change the traffic, but it changes how you experience it, turning a frustrating wait into a moment of peace or even enjoyment. Consider the following scenario: you are dealing with a difficult person. Instead of reacting with irritation or anger, you choose to respond with patience. You give yourself a moment to understand where they are coming from, to recognize that their behavior is more about their own struggles than anything else. This does not mean that you accept bad behavior, rather, it means that you respond to it with composure and thoughtfulness, which frequently reduces tension and is associated with better outcomes for everyone involved. Patience, in the Stoic sense, is about embracing the moment rather than fighting against it. It's about seeing the delay, the annoyance, or the obstacle as part of the path, not a deviation from it. Every moment of impatience is a chance to practice, to deepen your understanding of Stoicism, and to cultivate a serene mind. But how can we cultivate this patience in our everyday lives? It starts with awareness. Recognize when impatience is starting to bubble up inside you. Then pause. Take a deep breath. Remember Marcus Aurelius and the countless others who have faced far greater trials with patience and dignity. Another practical step is to adjust your expectations. Often, our impatience stems from things not going according to our plan. But if we remind ourselves that we're not in control of everything, only our response to things, we can set more realistic expectations and find peace in the unfolding of life, however it happens. When you choose patience over frustration or anger, your capacity for patience grows. The rewards are enormous: a calmer mind, less stress, and a reputation as someone who is composed and thoughtful, even in challenging situations. View each test of patience as an opportunity rather than a hurdle. Your capacity for patience grows like a muscle that gets stronger with exercise. Tip number 5: set an example. Epictetus knew a thing or two about adversity and integrity. He didn't just lecture about Stoicism in the classroom, he lived it every single day. and he encouraged his students to do the same. To embody your philosophy is about making your life a testament to your values, letting your actions speak louder than your words. Imagine the ripple effect you can create by simply living out your principles. When you show kindness, even in challenging situations, others take notice. It might inspire them to act kindly in turn. When you demonstrate integrity, refusing to compromise on your values, it sets a standard for those around you. And when you face adversity with resilience, maintaining a calm and composed demeanor, it can be a beacon of hope for others who are struggling. But how do we actually do this? How do we become an example for others? It starts with self-reflection. Take a moment to consider the values that are truly important to you. What principles do you want to guide your life? Once you have clarity on these, strive to align your actions with your values. It's about making conscious choices every day that reflect who you are and what you stand for. Of course, nobody's perfect. We all have our moments of weakness, our lapses in judgment. But being an example isn't about perfection, it's about striving, about making a genuine effort to live according to your ideals, even when it's hard. And when you do slip up, it's about owning your mistakes, learning from them, and moving forward with even greater resolve. Consistency is another essential component of being an example. It is not enough to simply act morally when it is convenient or when people are looking at you. It is also important to remain consistent in your values, regardless of whether you are in the spotlight or by yourself. This consistency is what truly sets an example for others, as it encourages trust and respect. Let's take inspiration from Epictetus and strive to be living embodiments of our philosophy, whether it's kindness, integrity, resilience, or any other virtue. Let's bring it to life in our actions. Remember, you have the power to inspire, to influence, and to make a positive impact on the world around you. Be the change you wish to see, and watch how your example can light the way for others. Sixth, ignore those who are critical of you. It seems everywhere we turn, social media, news outlets, even our daily interactions, there's a barrage of negativity, criticism, and yes, the haters. It can be exhausting, but they don't have to dictate your happiness. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about maintaining one's inner peace amidst external turmoil. He spoke of the inner citadel, a fortress within us that no external negativity can breach unless we allow it. This concept is incredibly empowering. Think about it, you have the power to create and maintain a space of peace and calm within you, no matter what storms rage outside. First and foremost, it is about recognizing what is and is not within our control. We are unable to control what other people say or do, the harsh comments they leave, or the unkind rumors they spread. However, we are able to control our response. We have the ability to choose not to engage with them, not to internalize their negativity, and not to allow it to disrupt our peace without allowing it to disrupt our inner citadel. Reflecting on the intention behind the negativity is another important Stoic strategy. People who outburst are frequently dealing with their own problems, insecurities, or pain. However, this does not excuse the behavior that they exhibit, but it can help us respond with compassion rather than defensiveness or anger. It allows us to see their negativity as their burden, not ours. Practicing mindfulness is also a powerful tool in maintaining our inner citadel. When faced with negativity, take a moment to pause and breathe. Remind yourself that this moment of negativity is just that, a moment. It will pass. You don't have to let it define your day or your mood. By staying present and grounded, you can keep your inner peace intact. It's also helpful to surround yourself with positivity. Engage with uplifting content, connect with supportive people, and fill your environment with things that bring you joy and peace. Remember, you have the power to curate your own life experience. Choose positivity and let the negativity slide by. Remember that tuning out the haters is not about building walls or becoming indifferent, it's about choosing where to focus your energy and attention. It's about preserving your inner peace and strength so you can face challenges with grace and resilience. Make sure you are brimming with love. Stoicism might seem all about rationality, but there's a big place for love too. Seneca tells us that love isn't just something you feel, it's something you feel, it's something you do. It's an active, vibrant energy that you put out into the world, and it has this beautiful boomerang effect. The more love you give, the more you find it coming back to you, often from the most unexpected places. But what does it mean to be full of love in a Stoic sense? It's about approaching every interaction, every person with goodwill and benevolence. It's seeing the humanity in everyone, even those who are challenging to deal with. It means wishing well for others, genuinely desiring their happiness and well-being regardless of how they feel about you. This isn't always easy, especially when faced with negativity or hostility, but it's a powerful stance that can transform not just your own life, but also the lives of those around you. Being full of love also means practicing forgiveness and understanding. Everyone we meet is fighting their own battle, carrying their own burdens. By choosing love and compassion, we lighten their load and our own. We connect on a deeper level, recognizing our shared humanity. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us that love extends beyond just our relationships with people. It's about cultivating a loving relationship with life itself, embracing all its twists and turns with open arms. It's finding joy in the simple things, appreciating the beauty around us, and engaging with the world in a meaningful, positive way. So how can we cultivate this loving Stoic approach to life? Start small. Offer a kind word to a stranger, show appreciation to your loved ones, practice gratitude daily. Reflect on your actions and intentions, asking yourself if they're rooted in love and kindness. And when you encounter negativity or unkindness, try to respond with understanding and compassion. Remember, being full of love isn't about being naive or ignoring the harsh realities of the world. It's about choosing to respond to those realities with love rather than fear or anger. It's a courageous, powerful choice that can lead to true contentment and connection. Stop comparing yourself to other people, which is the 8th number. How often do we find ourselves scrolling through social media, looking at someone else's highlight reel and feeling like we just don't measure up? But here's a Stoic antidote to this pervasive issue: focus on your own path, your own growth, and your own achievements. The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, teach us that the only comparison worth making is with who we were yesterday, not with someone else today. This idea is so liberating when you really think about it. Imagine freeing yourself from the endless cycle of looking over your shoulder, worrying about what everyone else is doing, and feeling inadequate. The Stoics offer us a different perspective. Your journey is yours alone, with its own challenges, triumphs, and lessons. By embracing this, you honor your unique path and cultiva. Nevertheless, how can we put this into practice, especially in a world that constantly encourages us to compare and compete? To begin, we need to become aware of when we are making these comparisons. When you see someone else's success or happiness, you may feel a twinge of envy or self-doubt. Acknowledge this feeling and then gently remind yourself that your path is different from yours. Next, you should actively celebrate your own accomplishments, regardless of how trivial they may appear. But Did you take on a challenging task at work? Did you show kindness to a stranger? Did you make time for self-care? These are all victories that are worthy of being acknowledged. By celebrating your own progress, you are reinforcing the notion that your journey is valid and valuable. Taking the time to reflect on your personal growth is another powerful Stoic practice. Take some time to look back at where you were a year ago, 5 years ago, or even a decade ago. Recognize the strides you've made, the obstacles you've overcome, and the lessons you've learned. This reflection not only boosts your self-esteem, but it also deepens your appreciation for your unique journey. It is important to remember that the Stoics did not just talk about personal achievements in terms of career success or material gain. They valued wisdom, virtue, resilience, and inner peace. Consequently, when you measure your progress, you should take into consideration these deeper, more meaningful markers of growth. Are you more patient than you used to be? Are you more compassionate? Are you more resilient? These are the kinds of accomplishments that truly reflect your growth as a person. 9. Treasure the people you care about the most. In the whirlwind of our daily lives, it's so easy to get caught up in the minutiae, the endless to-do lists, and the relentless pursuit of our personal goals. But Stoicism, with its profound insights into the human condition, reminds us of what's genuinely important: the connections we share with the people we love. Stoicism might seem like it's all about self-discipline and resilience, but at its heart, it's deeply concerned with community and relationships. The Stoics understood that our time on this earth is fleeting, that every moment we have with our loved ones is precious and not to be taken for granted. They encourage us to live in the present, to appreciate the here and now, and to value the people who add meaning and joy to our lives. But how do we put this into practice? Special. An expression of gratitude is another essential component. It is about letting our loved ones know that we appreciate them, not just in grand gestures, but in the everyday small moments that truly define our relationships. A simple thank you, a note of appreciation, or a kind word can mean so much. It acknowledges the value of the other person and the contribution they make to our lives. Mindfulness is the first step in this process. It means making a conscious effort to be present when we are with our loved ones. It means listening attentively when they speak, engaging with them in totality, and demonstrating to them through our actions that they are important to us. And then there's expressing love, which can be done in countless ways tailored to the individual and the relationship. It might be spending quality time together, offering support during challenging times, or sharing joys and successes. Love, in the Stoic sense, is active and engaged. It's about showing up for people, being there in the moments that matter. Making time for our loved ones is perhaps the most crucial part. In our busy lives, it's all too easy to let relationships slide, to assume that people will always be there. But the Stoic reminder of the impermanence of life urges us to prioritize our relationships, to carve out time for those who matter most, even when it feels like there are a million other things demanding our attention. Cherishing our loved ones is about recognizing the irreplaceable role they play in our lives and honoring that with our time, our attention, and our affection. It's about building and nurturing those bonds, knowing that they are the true source of richness and meaning in our lives. Remember that the journey of life is one we share with those we hold dear. Cherish every moment, embrace every opportunity to show love, and never underestimate the power of presence. Thank you for joining us today on Stoic Journal. Your journey towards wisdom and inner peace is one we are honored to be a part of. Please don't forget to watch one of the suggested videos on your screen to continue exploring the profound insights of Stoicism together. Let's cultivate a life of virtue, resilience, and deep connection. Thank you for being here, for being a part of this journey, and for embracing the wisdom of Stoicism in your life. As we close this chapter of our journey together, remember that the wisdom of the Stoics isn't just ancient text, it's a living, breathing guide for navigating the complexities of modern life. By embracing their teachings, you embrace a path of growth, resilience, and profound inner peace. Thank you for joining us today at Stoic Thinking, for taking this step toward a more mindful and meaningful existence. Your presence and engagement here are what make this journey so enriching and worthwhile.